Let's talk about then the positive decision-making parts of it, because, we could talk about all the fearful things that people take up and say, oh my God, we live in such a toxic world.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, over and over and over again, that's what I see. I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to give up. Like I can't eat anything now. I'm like, that's not true.
Isn't that a weird sort of, I'm just going to give up? Like, I always say, like, life's a beautiful thing. It's a miraculous, wonderful experience. Like, just because there are toxins out there, and yeah, that's not as cool as if there weren't, but there are, doesn't mean you should give up, because you have so much power within you to make the right choices. I understand maybe it goes away from you drinking out of plastic all the time, which is very convenient for you. But it's really, once you change that kind of base level of what you do over the course of a week or a month, it becomes habit. You're fine with it. You don't mind that you're drinking out of stainless steel straw anymore instead of the plastic one.
You don't, and that's the small shifts, and it comes back to that quote: excuse for failure or method for success. So what they're really doing is giving an excuse to fail, and I understand that. When I wasn't feeling well, when I was sick, when I was around family that was toxic and talking down, I was programmed to think the worst. It took me years and years to unprogram. You probably weren't raised in that environment because you had two medical doctors that pushed through pain and did it all. And, because they were educated and probably from better families, but not everyone is like that. It's this generational lie that they believe to be true, whether it comes in, like I have my nieces coming to live with me. They're living in a moldy basement. I was talking to them, I was listening to them, and I'm like, frick, you need to hang out with a Warren and a Rebecca. And at 25, you're going to be stuck, right? They're just stuck and living in a wet, moldy basement. I'm like, come live with me, hard on me, hard on my family. They'll probably watch this podcast and be like, what are you doing? But I couldn't help, but I'm going to change their generational mindset, because they're going to get around how we live, see that it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Because it's really not that hard, bro, but you have to see it. You have to experience it. You have to learn it firsthand. You're like, that's not that bad. That's still fun. That still tastes good. That's not that weird, right? I can do that. Is that how you think about that, Warren? That challenge, I saw how you and Rebecca just conversed there. You didn't judge her. You asked her a question instead, or you didn't raise your voice, or you were getting in an argument, which is healthy, and you backed off and you came back and you reconciled and you talked to the kids about it. Like, just all those behavior patterns in 6 months, they're going to learn all that. They're going to take that home, and they're going to raise children and think and act differently about how they do life, what their jobs are. It's going to transform their life, guaranteed 100%. And that's my gift to them and to their family. Now that's creating generational change. So I'm not just doing this on Instagram. I literally saw a need. I'm like, man, I can change their life. And they're going to change the lives of hundreds of people around them. So they're going to come, they're going to learn, they're going to grow. And I know a lot of people that have suffered like I have do the same thing. They bring people in. Like when I was sick, I lived with Dr. Dan. He brought me into their house. When I was sick, get out of that mold, come live with me. So I'm just giving where that gift was given to me. I'm giving back because I can't. Like you can see the emotion in me now. It's like, I can't see them sick. I couldn't let it happen, bro. I'm like, you got to come. And they moved in a week. And I asked them all the questions. I made sure, are you just like you're doing a consult, right? It's like, where you at on a scale 1 to 10, committed to coming? Well, I'm a 9. I'm like, okay, we got to get you to 10. Why are you a 9? Right? So they're saying, okay, I'm a 9 because I'm worried about something simple. Like I had to sell my car or something that they just bought because they're financial stuff. I'm like, okay, so you're really a 10. It's just this one thing. Let me help you with that. Like, so that's how we change the world, right? Is that we live it, we help people experience it. But the folks that are saying that I can't do it, the world's coming to them, is because they haven't had someone come along, hold them by the hand and say, you can do it. I believe in you, right? You're worth it. You're brilliant. You're smart. You're kind. You're loving. We're being told all the opposite. So why would we want to change? Because we feel in our hearts of hearts that we're worthless because we've been psychologically trained to be that way. And those are some of the emotional toxins of the work that you do, because a lot of people do not and cannot do your protocols because they don't love themselves enough. They were programmed differently than you were, right? I had a loving home, but I was definitely had some bad programming as well. So that's the meat of change, right? Is all starts up here. And if you're sick, it makes it even harder because your hormones are off.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand. Like when they say that, I'm like, I understand you're saying that. I disagree with you. But if I'm not in your house, I haven't, again, I don't know how you were raised. I don't know what your parents said to you. I don't know what your teacher said to you or your football coach, like that has created a psychology in you for you to say that, right? So how can you change that, right? You have to, like, part of what I'll do eventually is start talking about that stuff, right? It's not my area of expertise, but I'll start a podcast someday and bring on folks like yourself or whoever who have dealt with these psychological shifts to show people, like, here's what you can do to change psychologically so you can start making decisions that you know you need to make.